I was walking back from the Beit Knesset today, and I was thinking about all the reasons that women cover their hair outside of marriage and outside of whatever, and the reasons why we should not be wearing wigs and all of these things. And I came back from this to someone having sent me this article from the Jerusalem Post about why women cover their hair. Now, one should not be getting any advice on any topic whatsoever in the entire world from the Jerusalem Post. The Jerusalem Post is basically just a tabloid at this point. It's the most garbage paper in the country, I would say, and that's saying something. But it's interesting that this woman had the courage to even put this article through this tabloid. And I don't know. And what's even worse, the only reason to read Jerusalem Post, if you do gander at it, it is the comment section, okay? All the ignorance are in the comment section. This author is under the misperception that the Jewish women outside of her observant circle would have any interest accepting the dictates of ancient men with Asperger's who thought it was okay to sit around and create rules for how women. And to be honest, I had no interest in seeing more. I had no interest in seeing more of what you had to say. Dear Leah, I'm so sorry. Your rant was boring from the first word. So this is just a glimpse of what reading the Jerusalem Post is about, okay? It's just a tabloid paper. They do not fact check nothing, okay? It's just absolutely sewer trash, like this publication. And also, covering your hair has nothing to do with marital status. There are many halachot that say that all women, not just married women, should cover your hair. It's their hair. It's proper to do. And here are some reasons why maybe a non-married woman might cover her hair in public. So let's start with some practical reasons why a woman might choose to cover her hair in public regardless of marital status. And I feel like the first one should be quite obvious, but dirty hair. Now, you should not be washing your hair every single day, and if you are, you should probably stop. Now, this has to do with a personal thing. My hair gets dirty within 24 hours, so after 24 hours, it's already starting to get greasy, but I do wash my hair every other day, and I just suffer with it being dirty. There are other people who can go several days before the grease is starting to appear in their hair. This is natural and okay, and it's not good for your hair to be washing it every single day. There is no shampoo that does both a cleanse and a substitute for the natural oils on your scalp. It just does not exist. I'm sorry to tell you. There's just nothing better for your hair than your own natural oils. And these natural oils are the best, and it's best for your hair, but no one wants to be in public with greasy hair. So what's a good solution for this? Covering your hair. And the next one I think also should be pretty obvious, but sun exposure. Why do people wear hats outside? Because they're trying to protect their scalp from being burned. So obviously someone might cover their hair in public if they're trying to avoid having sun exposure to the top of their head. And another reason someone might use a headscarf as opposed to a hat is because after you put your headscarf on in greasy hair in the hot, so you have now gotten your natural oils and sweat in it. It's a whole lot easier to clean a headscarf than a hat of any kind. So in general, hygiene is a reason why someone might choose to cover their hair. And then we have this idea of modesty. Now, modesty does not always apply to how you look, okay? It does not always apply to your body. Sometimes it applies to your behavior. It applies to your lifestyle. Someone who's not so materialistic would be considered a modest person. And it was funny because also yesterday morning, I posted a video about the wigs being an ancient Egyptian custom and something that the guy said in the video was that based on the wig, people knew right away this person's status. They knew how wealthy they were. They knew, what their rank was in society. And I posted this, and then somebody sent me in the messages, this was on Facebook, someone sent me in the messages a link to a video where someone had done research in some of the wig-wearing communities. And it's the same thing amongst them, that they know how much wealth a person has, or how much perceived wealth, we should say, because some of these people really can't afford these wigs that a person has. based on their wig. David Melech says that we stand before God the same, the rich and the poor. We stand before God the same. We are all being judged for how we use our money. Are we giving to charity? Are we using our money for Avodat Hashem? Are we blowing our money? Are we buying beer? Are we doing shtiot? Are we trying to keep up with our friends? Are we pretending that we have money when we don't? Like, what is the situation? We are all being judged. We are all being judged. And wearing simple clothing is a way that you can say, we are all equals. We're all equals. I'm no better than you. We are the same. Can someone show off with a scarf? Absolutely. Someone can go out and buy a Louis Vuitton scarf that has Louis Vuitton written all over it because they want you to know that they can afford to buy this. But the scarf is probably the cheapest thing in the store, and they might have bought it at a thrift shop. Someone might have gifted it to them. You don't know how they got it. But even let's say they bought it, it's the cheapest thing in the Louis Vuitton store. If Louis Vuitton made wigs, there would be no comparison. Right? There would be no comparison. It's a long shot between the most expensive scarf you can buy and the most expensive wig you can buy, or even the most expensive scarf and the cheapest wig you can buy. There's no comparison. And so it is a way to be modest, to say it doesn't matter my rank, my status. I am a simple person, just like everyone else. I can wear a simple scarf in a simple color and be completely fulfilled. It's more than just physical beauty. But is it about physical beauty too? Absolutely. Covering your hair. Let me say something too. It's not just about your husband, it's about your sister. You don't know what's going on under people's headscarves or underneath their wigs. God forbid you're wearing a wig, but if you are, no one knows what's happening underneath this. Someone could be going bald. Someone could legitimately be going bald, and you're outside showing off your big lioness hair, and he's looking at you like, oh wow, I wish my wife had hair like this, but she's suffering with a disease or whatever. She just gave birth and her hormones are going crazy and her hair is falling out and she just doesn't look as beautiful as she normally would. The scarf conceals that. And you are not doing this just for your husband. You are doing this for your sister too, so that her husband won't be looking at you. It's just also no reason to show off ever. There's no reason to show off ever. Oh, look at this great, beautiful hair I have and these weird colors and whatever. It's just, there's no reason to be a show off ever in this life. You don't need to bring ayin hara on yourself by showing off. You don't need to make other people feel bad by showing off. It's just, covering your hair is just a really outward way of being modest to show modesty from the inside. And there are spiritual reasons for this as well. One of the easiest things to kind of understand, I think, is that your hair is a witness against you. It has witnessed every lie you told. It has witnessed every dirty look, any bad character trait, any bad midot, any whatever that you have had. Your hair has witnessed this. And when you go to pray, you don't want these verdicts against you. What are you praying for? You're praying for Hashem to have some goodwill against you. So you want to conceal some of this. And it's the same kind of idea with cleanliness, We go and we wash our hands, and some people wash their feet before they pray. If your hair is dirty, it also needs to be covered. It needs to be covered to pray, because you don't want to bring something disgusting or impure to God. And this is really where the impurity comes from: dirty hair and dirty hands, things like this. So these are just a couple of the reasons that, especially during prayer, one, regardless of marital status, might want to cover their hair. And it goes without saying, according to Beit Yosef and many, many, many other people, wigs are absolutely forbidden. They do not constitute as a head covering, okay? They're absolutely ridiculous. They bring Hilul Hashem upon the community. The only reason wigs were ever permitted was if a woman was losing her hair and she put on a headscarf and it was very obvious that there was no hair underneath there, it would be embarrassing. It would be embarrassing to go in public like this. I lost 50% of my hair, and I am telling you, when you are losing your hair, you feel like everyone knows. So it was permitted under the premise that for a woman not to be embarrassed, that she could wear the wig but then put a scarf over it so it looked like under the scarf she had hair, but she didn't. this was a reason. Hair loss would be the only acceptable reason to have a wig. The only acceptable reason. And you have to still be very, very careful to make sure that it is not human hair wigs. Long story short, there are many, many, many deeply personal reasons a woman might have for covering her hair in public. It might be modest. It might be, maybe she has ugly hair. Maybe she has bad hair. You ever think about that she's covering her hair because she has bad hair? And so it's none of your business. If you want to marry the woman or you want to inquire about her for some type of reason like this, then find a polite way to ask, or just find a polite way to ask. But it's really none of your business, like, what is going on under a woman's headscarf.